Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rocky Metal Guardian. I'm Dane, your host. I hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves, and blessings to all of you wonderful people out there. Today I'm going to be talking about Pink Floyd's lost album, The Man and the Journey, a live recording from 1969. Is it rubbish or is it a masterpiece? So that's the topic of the day. This moniker given to the suite, because it's a suite of music, gets its name from the tour, because the tour was called The Man and the Journey Tour. Again, 1969. And this suite of music contains some of the music of their very early years. They're just really getting going, 1969 really. And it has some never released songs, at least at the time, more on that later. And some of these tracks would later appear on albums like the Moore soundtrack, Ummagumma, and Relics. And you have some parallels in the Man and the Journey suite with the Dark Side of the Moon with respect to the theme of lunacy, the theme of insanity, same thing really. And you also have Pink Floyd doing, way before Dark Side of the Moon, soundscapes and sound effects in most of the songs, if not all of them, and also those existing to segue it from song to song to connect said songs. So you'll see what I mean when I go through this track by track. The suite in some circles has been often referred to as the masked gadgets of Aux Eminis, and that name will pop up also in one of the tracks, but that's not the name of the track, so wanted to prepare you for that as well if you're not familiar with it. This total suite lasts, it's 15 songs, last an hour and 17 minutes, so 77 minutes, while it would fit on an entire CD by itself. For vinyl, it would be a double record. So let's go ahead and get started. The first song is Daybreak, and this would eventually be Grantchester Meadows on Ummagumma. This is so much better. This version, I love it. It's so much better than the later studio version on Ummagumma. I really don't listen to Grantchester Meadows all that much, the studio version. Remember, all this suite is entirely live. But I think this version on The Man and the Journey is the definitive version, because it's so much better than the studio version, which appears, as I said, later on Ummagumma, because Waters' vocals here sound inspired. They sound full of soul, spirit, motivation. They're just filled with emotion, and it's just a different dynamic. It's just so powerful, emotive. When I first heard this, I was like, wow, where was this on Ummagumma? Because it just sounds so flat on that album. So yeah, it sounds great here, called Daybreak. Next is Work, and this is, for the most part, just soundscapes of people working, but you do have some xylophone, which is cool. You have some rhythms and some percussion. You have some other sounds as well. Again, those soundscapes I'm referring to. You even have sawing wood, those noises, but it's done in a rhythmic fashion. So the sawing of the wood has a music flavor to it because of the rhythm that it creates. So that's kind of cool as well. Then the third song is Afternoon, which is Biding My Time, which appears on Relics. You have the sound of machinery purring and growing louder to begin to begin the song. Then it shifts to a bluesy, slow piece from Gilmour, which is wonderful. It's light, it's bright and upbeat, almost pastoral, but not quite pastoral. Then you get some lyrics at the 2-minute 40-second mark from Waters. Then you get this cabaret-like trombone bit, 3 places in the song. And if you're familiar with those Tex Avery cartoons from, I guess, the 30s, 40s, and 50s, he was wont to, when a cartoon character like Butch from Droopy, or the cowboy that's the wolf with the long red mustache and beard, and some other characters, when they saw a woman that they were attracted to, you would hear that womp, 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 womp trombone to let you know that they were interested or aroused by the female cartoon character. So that's that cabaret trombone going on here in 2 moments, and it works. It's really cool. Then you have some vocals in between those 2 cabaret moments. And then the song really When you get the second cabaret movement, it returns, but it's more intense. And then after that, you get back to cool but heavier guitar and percussion. And then you have a dynamite solo from Waters. It's borderline heavy metal, really. And that closes the song. And the solo is quite long. It's like a minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes. This is great. This is a great song. Next, you get Doing It, which is a song about sex. This is just simply a kick-ass drum solo from Mason. I like it very much. Then the next track, 5, is Sleeping. You get a ticking clock, foreshadowing Dark Side of the Moon, perhaps, and Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, the solo album from Waters, his first solo album. And you get the ticking clock with some breathing accompanying that. It's eerie. It's a dreamlike soundscape with some electric piano and xylophone. It's very haunting. It's very surreal. And yet it's chilling at the same time. And of course, it's setting up the next song, which is Nightmare, which is an earlier version of Cymbeline. And this is, for me, also the definitive version of Cymbeline, the Celtic/Greek sun god, a mixture of the two. Won't go into the history of that, but that's what that is. And it's one of my favorites on this piece. It's one of my favorite songs by Pink Floyd of all time. The soundscapes here are exquisite. Gilmour's guitar is great. It's slow and inviting. It's moody. Wright's keys are dynamite as well. And Gilmour's voice is amazing. It's that quiet, hushed beauty of a voice that he has. That's just amazing. This is, again, the definitive version of of this song. This is the definitive version of the song for me, Nightmare, a.k.a. Cymbeline. And the chorus, when he sings, the name Cymbeline is just amazing. He sings with emotion, with grace. And again, the chorus is dynamite. Great guitar solo here. And the alarm clock goes off at the end right after the climax crescendo part of the music. And then it segs right into Labyrinth, which is just a minute and 12 seconds of this ticking sound, perhaps a clock. And then halfway through, you get this other soundscape, which is brief, which is hard to describe, and then clapping from the crowd. And then we move on to the next song, which is the beginning, which is an early version of Green is the Color. You have an acoustic intro, overall a nice light tune. It picks up slightly second half of the song. Your drums and guitar pick up near the end, and you have lots of vocals near the end, but it's just gibberish. And that segues into Beset by Creatures of the Deep, which is an early version of Careful with That Axe, Eugene. So the Nightmare continues. It's a fabulous song. It's one of their best. It's chilling. It's disturbing. It's cathartic. It's powerful. Water's screams are amazing here. The song grows in intensity, like a lot of the stuff on this piece. The instrumentation is amazing. The guitar especially wonderful. The bass, too, is very powerful. And, of course, the song comes full circle to that more softer beginning at the end. And you have some wind come in, that sound effect. And this segues into The Narrow Way Part 3, which makes its way onto Umaguma later. More great vocals from Gilmour. Psychedelic heaviness. This is a master stroke, I believe. All instruments are. Wright's keys are dynamite again. Everything here is great. It's lovely and yet dark. Piece, that is. And this segs into the Pink Jungle, which just is another version of Pow R Talk H. You have those bird-like barkings or animal-like noises. I think they're coming from Waters. I think he's making those noises. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Waters is doing that shh sound in the beginning and the end, and I think in the middle as well. The bass is incredible here at the 2-minute mark. You have the animal noises subside. You get some wonderful killer guitar, equal in the mix with everything else. It's exquisite. And then at the 3.5 mark, you have Wright taking over with Waters' bass and the shh noises. And then you get returned to the animal noises to conclude, so it comes full circle. A lot of stuff here comes full circle. And that segues into the Labyrinths of Oxymenes. If I'm pronouncing that right, there's the name again. It's weird and cool sound effects, essentially, with a cool bass line driving the whole song, or partially driving the whole song. And then Gilmour's guitar making these nightmarish sounds. And there are other members making those nightmarish sounds as well. It's a really cool piece. And then you get essentially Footsteps and Doors, which just is a song that is just really not a song, but just a couple minutes of sound effects of both footsteps and doors to make the story, the plot move along, to let you know that we're transitioning to the next song, which is Behold the Temple of Light, which is an instrumental. This is a lovely tune. It begins with Gilmour's guitar. The flanger that we know and love from him is definitely present here. It builds an intensity. Again, a lot of that going on in this album. It builds an intensity with the other sounds, with the other instruments. More wonderful keys from Wright. It's an intense track and yet beautiful at the same time. And of course, the song comes full circle. And that segs into the last song, The End of the Beginning. Wright opens up this piece with a church pipe organ. It's just lovely. It's beautiful. It's exquisite. Can't get enough of this. And then a guitar at the 2.5 minute mark, which is soft and calming and lovely. Then it gets louder, which is cool. And then you get some percussion at the 4-minute mark with these hushed type vocals. And then some different keys from Wright. I think he's now back to the normal organ he used and away from the pipe organ or the church organ. And then after that, you just get some a cappella vocals, I think, from Waters, and then clapping from the crowd, and it's over. So the last two songs demonstrate a positive note, but I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to it right now. So overall, the piece, with respect to these last two songs, really drive the point home, because you have you have these nightmare sequences with nightmare and sleeping and although it's not called Careful with That Axe, Eugene, beset by creatures of the deep and that sort of thing. It ends on a hopeful note, because you have the second to last song, Behold the Temple of Light, and light equaling or symbolizing hope. And then, of course, the end of the beginning has this wonderful church pipe organ thing going on to let you know that this is spirituality, or, again, that type of sound, that type of church music is a positive note, right? And so that lends to so much of what I think the band is trying to accomplish here. There's darkness, but there's also light. Great message here. So, and of course, the title of the last piece, The End of the Beginning, is You're Just Getting Started in Life, which is good. You have the rest of your life ahead of you. And this makes me think of, although the music here sounds nothing like Genesis's The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, thematically it also has some of the message of that piece, that masterstroke from Genesis, because you have these, in The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, you have this journey of a boy becoming a man and him going through these nightmare moments of his life, some terrible things going on, but then he gets out of it and goes back, like the Wizard of Oz, coming back home to Kansas kind of thing. So it works here as well. Essentially what you have here, from a overall general sense, what the album is about is a person's day in the life, right? The things that they go through daily, what we all go through as a person day by day. So if you look at the song titles, it tells you this right off the bat. Daybreak, work, afternoon, doing it, sleeping, okay? At least those parts, and you have the nightmare stuff, but overall a sense of how this piece relates to us. So for me, I don't think this album is rubbish whatsoever. I think this is an amazing piece from the band. I think this is a masterstroke from Pink Floyd. You got some wonderful psychedelia, you got some wonderful pastoral stuff, heavy at times, thematically rich, meaningful. I talked about it demonstrates that art can reflect real life. It's got a cool story, and you have some great music, and that's what really matters the most. And can you still get this? Absolutely. For the longest time, before it was made available widely to the public, you could find it as bootlegs or unofficial, really the same thing in, record stores or online from third-party sellers through Amazon, or go to record shows and that sort of thing. I had a friend of mine who bought it on CD. It was cracked, the CD case, but the CD was immaculate, and that's how I first heard it many years ago. But I have it now as a physical copy from this nice collection, which is Pink Floyd, the early years, 1969, dramatization. There are 4 discs, 2 CDs, 2 DVDs, and disc 2 has the Man and the Journey on it. And So I wanted to have it. It's wonderful, and this is this album alone is one of the many reasons why I'm such a huge Pink Floyd fan. I did a video a while back on ranking the albums by Pink Floyd, and I should have included this, and I just didn't think about it. This would be way up high, somewhere in the top 7, I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think if you're familiar with this, and if you're not, if you have questions, I'll answer them for you if I can. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye now.